Recording and
Look at them, they look great.
Hang on. I'm gonna stop the recording, hang on. Don't get ahead of you.
Now it's still 7:01, I'll need to order again, so it's recorded. First word is accepting minutes from the August 9th meeting. We went to do that last time, and we did not have a quorum of people that were here for that meeting. I will need to abstain, but the three of you can vote on that.
I vote that we accept the meetings from the August 9th meeting.
I'm second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one would be the August 23rd, which was our last meeting.
I will abstain from that one, since I was not there.
I wasn't either.
Okay,
I did,
so we,
I had the wrong date. Right.
out of the three, we have two members, which creates a quorum for that vote. I guess I can call the vote. I will make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes for the August 23rd meeting.
I would second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
So that's a 2-0 vote?
That is.
Two
But if
abstain.
there was only three in attendance, the quorum will be two. Correct.
I guess.
Okay. I could be
No,
wrong.
no, you weren't correct. I thought you were more
No, there was, that's why you got to abstain.
than, you can't do simple math.
All right, the warrants, I believe, has those and they will be coming around. Finances. Or did Audrey get, everybody has a copy, correct?
Yes.
All right.
This will also need to be dealt with.
That, okay.
So let me explain this, you know, call.
Okay.
One that I came across that happened. And I kind of really try to find what. You guys come in for more reports. So. Basically, it's what we've been, I've been doing. With the exception of the road. And it just says on here, general. So I'm not really sure what you want. But if you look at the last 2 pages of the report, it shows the 2 different types of reports for the road. And I don't know which ones that you want, or if you want something different.
So
More detailed.
what I would like, this just personally, is the one, let's see here, I know I want to see it in here. The one that says what we budgeted, what we have spent to date, and what is remaining.
Right.
For the road.
Or-
And town.
Well, for the road and town, yeah. That way we know, what the winter work looks like, dirt work looks like.
Yeah.
The bridge, equipment repair.
Yeah.
So those are all itemized down the side, what we budgeted, how much we've spent, remaining balance.
You got it in this page, right here.
Yep.
We got the road, bridge, equipment, new equipment, paving. Okay, we want to know what we spent and what the balance is. Obviously, you started out with, what was voted at town meeting, okay? What we've spent and what the balance is.
Okay.
Which would be this one right here, Audrey. This is for the Brigham Library, where they could look like that. And it doesn't have to be broken down monthly, it could just be a year to date, so that we know, if we're on track, if we're halfway through the year and we spent 80% of our budget, we know we've got things we need to look at and also knock it out.
See, on page 2, you have the balances for those accounts. but you don't have what's spent and what was originally in the account. Okay. You get road checking at 10-7. Paving grant at 40,000, new equipment at 41,400. You get the balance of the checking accounts there, but we don't have. Unless we will go back and look it up, we don't know what the original amount was, and we don't know what we spent out of that. All we're seeing there is the balance. Yep.
I can do that, I'm sure there's one year somewhere.
And yeah, I think it's a pretty easy report to run. It's just whatever one you're running for the Brigham Library. That's what.
All these reports,
That HF Brigham, that's one of those called.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're all different reports.
well, that's,
All.
that's.
If we not get it open, right?
Is there any, do you see any concerns or, anything that you want to bring to our attention? As far as the books in general, everything seems to be going smooth. Is, I know,
I'm plugging one, I'm going smooth, but, the taxes and everything. I keep all behind, I just want you to know that I think everything,
okay,
Can you elaborate on that? What do you know?
well, the reports are all the time,
Huh?
the reports, like the reports.
all of our state stuff is getting,
Other than that, I mean, we've been really busy with taxes. And then also put in here exactly how much, in a small spreadsheet, just a small spreadsheet. I'm sure you probably would want to elaborate on it. But it tells how much we collected in taxes.
what page is that?
It's the one that says transactions, so I count.
Yep, okay.
And it's the last page. And everything that we've taken. Taxes. Right up to the, is also the, how much we've taken out for the standalone. How much we can put over that.
Yeah, I know, we were talking a little earlier, you said you've received some money for,
We received some FEMA funds,
FEMA funds.
approximately 96,000 pounds.
Okay. Have you received the ARPA funds yet?
You received the ARPA funds.
Okay, have those been, you know, so where those are located in their own separate account?
It's a separate account that, if we, like, if you don't go online and check each individual account, it's actually put it on this sheet. This front sheet, it's actually on the second page. It tells you if there's listed ARPA funds and exactly how much we have in the ARPA account.
Oh, okay. That's good. Harry, did you find that? Second page, community bank accounts, following.
Oh, she's on a different subject. She's on a different subject. Is she?
I just wanted to double check on that, 'cause I know last time we were close to receiving funds, we haven't quite received.
Yeah, we received the second amount of the funds.
What a chunk.
Yeah, it was, the one I got was, 129,000.
Yeah, so, we'll get there later in the meeting, but if anybody has any ideas that would be beneficial to the town for the use of the ARPA funds.
We're doing a meeting for that, right?
Yeah.
After we
Yep.
discuss.
What I didn't see, and maybe it's just because I missed it, Audrey, was, what is our current balance on the FEMA loan?
I can address that.
Thank you.
As soon as they transfer that 96,000 for that payment, they're gonna send us an itemized statement on what went to the principal, the interest, and what's left.
Okay, approximately.
Approximately tomorrow, if you sign that warrant for tonight, they're gonna transfer the money tomorrow from the account to the FEMA LLC.
Yeah, and I would believe, what, approximately a little over $100,000.
Left to pay, yeah.
Yes, okay. Just off the top of my head.
But you should know by the next meeting, because as soon as I get it, you'll
Yep.
have it.
Oh, obviously, we're not, we're simple human beings, we're not bankers. We can figure out principal interest.
Right.
Now, will we be getting any more FEMA money?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I hope so.
Well, I'm just trying to keep an eye on.
Yep.
checking it
No,
out.
there's more coming. When? When you get darn good and ready.
Other from the finance.
I have a question about your reports.
Yep.
Because I just heard you mention the library one. So you get a financial every month for the library?
The date to.
So how come the library doesn't get it? They're the trustees and they're the ones that are supposed to know where the money's going.
That, I believe, we were going to address in the next.
Oh, we both get it?
We should, and I think that's where the miscommunication is.
I'm seeing a negative.
Yes. Well, I think so. I did not know. Karen said no. Nobody asked me for one, I did not know. When I was asked for one, I gave a bunch of different ones. Which ones do you want? There's no response. So I communication is not what I would like it to be. But I went over to the library and I asked her if she had a chance to look over the reports that I gave her. And she told me that the reports I gave her were all around ones. She didn't read those. So I asked her to show me what she needed. She did, and I gave them. Sorry, it's actually my fault for not being more aggressive on the situation and thinking, well, maybe she wants to report, but I got the law.
No, this should be good.
So I see on some of these bills, are we just, do we overlap with, like, I noticed the telephone company, it's got a previous balance. Not getting late payments because they're not paying the payments on time, right?
Well,
It's got a past due and due on our consolidated bill.
well, I did get a email from,
I think the previous balance was credit. Was it credit? Yeah. Was that- that's the one you did?
None of the rest of us has seen that yet.
Is it for the road or town?
It's for consolidated. And
For the road or town?
Town Bakersfield.
Probably road. Is it?
With everybody?
I would say it's for the road.
Yes, road one.
Mhm.
Did you decide it? That's two. I didn't really know, and I don't think I had looked back. You know, did you look back to see if we'd already paid that one? I mean, I know we paid it, so the check probably didn't clear, so we're gonna overpay again.
we're overpaying, but we're not underpaying, correct?
But you can actually reduce this by the new charge.
So what's happening is the last month's bill is being paid in time to get to their offices and cleared before the next bill goes out.
Yeah, that's all you will need.
Is that our fault or is it just what? Because what do they
There's no
charge
late,
us?
it
There's
doesn't
no
show
late
any,
fee?
there's no late fee.
Oh, okay.
So the bill was apparently paid on time, it just didn't make it to their offices in time to
Yeah.
be credited before the new billing.
So I'm gonna, and I'm gonna go look before you change this, and we'll find it yet. To make sure that when it's gone out. Don't know.
Well,
What's the bill date?
so that seems like, it seems like it was pretty close to the deadline.
Bill date, August 24th.
Also, it's. Pass it down through, so everybody's on the same page. Yeah, well, we all get an email, we're all in the email.
On this one,
Yes.
the billing date is August 24th.
Okay.
Which I think your last
Yeah, I
meeting
got that
was
one.
that day.
The 23rd, yeah.
Okay, so this, we didn't get this until the end, so we didn't have a meeting for 3 weeks.
Right, because of the.
So, and this is due on the 23rd.
I feel about that, and that needs to be addressed.
So that's how some of those
Okay.
are.
Yep. Okay.
I will bring this back. We're just gonna go
So
see what
we
they
can,
last month.
so are you gonna make the correction to the warrant,
I can do that, and I don't even want to bring it back to you.
or we can just cross it out and initial it if that makes it easier for you?
Well, my computer's on.
Excellent. We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is what I was showing. I know you saw that, but just so you know what everybody else is looking at too. That was August, yeah, you remember.
The issue is, and I can look at it and show you. Is I transferred the funds on the same day that payment and cost.
Well, it would seem that we've got 3 issues here right off. For all because deposits or payments aren't made late, but they're made at the last possible instant. So it seems like it would be better if we backed up a week or so and made sure that they were paid a week before they were due, or deposited a week before they were due, so that we avoid this.
I can agree with you that I need to know possibly how much the warrant is going to so I'm not transferring a lot of money that's being sent there.
Well, we're probably less worried about it drawing minimal amount of interest, because quite frankly, we don't have any accounts in the bank right now that are drawing great amount of interest. Then we are of ruining our credit rating by, and yes, we do have overdraft insurance, thank you, we do. But a late payment still affects our credit rating as a town. And that comes back and it bites us in the ass.
I increased the amount this month. Normally, I do. Tuesday, in this instance, it was a $699 purchase. Increased it.
Can I make a suggestion?
Don't send, if you know you haven't transferred the money in yet, don't send the checks out. Hold the check, get the money transferred, then mail them out, or I don't know if you're doing them electronically or, then don't do anything electronically until the following day. Okay, but the bill paying is mailed out, or so you had to mail them way too soon before you transfer. So transfer way before you even think about putting a stamp on it.
Yeah,
Because those will add up in a hurry. We can't, our budget is so
You
tight.
get the warrant, you gotta write the checks. You know how much the warrant is, it's in front of you. Transfer the money then do the checks.
Yeah,
The other one I received, I believe that was a late payment to the state tax.
There is no tax liability owed. And I, again, all I can say is I have no idea that we had to do it because nobody has any taxes taken out.
for what now? I guess I didn't see.
We have to do, Form 436. State. And it basically showing how much taxes now for state unemployed. And again, I didn't know what needed to be done. And I took it and I did it and then it's fine. All I can say is I just,
So we didn't receive anything from the state saying that it was due, or?
Yeah, how do you know it's still?
show a letter stating that it needs to be filed. And I followed up on it.
But there's no invoice from the state prior to that?
this is an income tax we're talking about,
It's Social Security.
social security. Okay.
Oh,
No, it was, state law,
Still Social Security though, isn't it?
Social Security is paid to everybody.
The whole tax here.
so it's from there.
State income
So it's the
taxes
state
were not
income
withheld.
tax were not withheld from the 2 employees that were back there.
Yes, notice of intent to assess, not, no return not filed. You might have it filed or something.
When you're a business, even if no taxes are taken out, you still have to file it in the libraries. It's done quarterly. I believe.
Yes,
All right, all right. Put it in terms I
Put
can
that
understand.
in my
Yes.
terms for you, sorry.
But the state doesn't send anything out, letting them know what they do.
They did. After.
Well, they sent a letter saying that it wasn't received, basically.
They were done in March.
And this was August 18th. And
So it was done at the end of March, done at the end of June, it's done at the end of It's Monday, I lose it.
September.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Desi.
And then in December.
And then they sent us nothing.
Well, they don't send anything in March either. They were done in March. That whatever gets filed was done in March.
So maybe if we can just, you know, put a reminder on the computer or something, just make sure we get that paperwork filed in there, so we don't get another one of these.
Once I mean,
It was done by Audrey in
Yeah,
March.
no, I just want to make sure we don't get another letter, that's all, okay? That's all I have for questions for Audrey, anybody else? Okay. I think we're all set, Audrey, but we'll probably have to hang out just because I know the library has some questions. And we may just need to work out some logistics between you and them, if that's all right. Perfect, thank you.
That's the moral.
So the next one on is our visitors,
I'm on.
2 months.
2 months ago.
which would be the library is first on deck.
Okay.
Okay, I just wondered if we approved it. Okay.
And once it came in, yeah.
It's right here. I never know who wrote that. I just heard it. Very, very good. Okay.
Yeah, go right.
All right, everybody ready to hear the library?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Sorry.
Hi, so I'm Nikki Quinn, I'm the chair of the board of trustees of the library, and we actually have a couple of other members this evening, Craig Figure and Wendy Cobb. I was asked here in May, I believe, and we were talking about some of the transitioning issues that the library experienced with the new treasurer. I actually wrote a letter which I don't think we've had a chance to.
We received it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I just got the mail.
Just got it this morning.
I think I know the gist of it for our conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it really was just addressing the two issues which we've already spoken of this evening. The issue of that withholding report not being filed with the state was a real concern to the board. And then we had a check that was returned, well, actually, no, it wasn't returned, it was paid, but there were insufficient funds in the account. And those were areas that the board felt very strongly about. We had an emergency meeting last week to talk about what we could do and how we wanted to handle the situation. The gist of it is really that the board feels that this is entirely unprofessional, and as trustees of the board, as the stewards of public funds, and in backup, our main concern is that we are handling public funds appropriately, and also that we're providing a good work environment for our employees. And I mentioned in the letter that one of the biggest outcomes of the situation now is that our librarian, director of the library, is seriously considering resigning her position because she just doesn't feel she can work in this environment, which obviously is a huge concern for us. So we are considering the board what we can do, which I understand isn't a whole lot because the state statute says that we have to have checks written by the treasurer, but we are going to have to get a much better handle on what is happening with our funds and how our accounting is being done.
So you were here for the conversation with Audrey, so you know.
So just to be clear, the board has not met since that letter. We wanted to let you know where we were coming from. We haven't made any real decisions.
Okay.
We had hoped to be able to do an entirely different thing and get accounting services elsewhere. We can't do that because the state isn't allowed. So we are at the point of the board of figuring out what can we do. So we haven't made any decisions.
Okay. So I've received your minutes from your meeting the other night. I also looked at the your law of public libraries PDF from Vermont League of Cities and Towns. I read through that. I know more about library operations
Yeah,
than I
that's what
probably
you need to know.
everyone needs to know. But, yeah, I looked through it, the way I read it one way, it puts you in this direction, read it again, and you're like, typical state, document. It's fun. So what I get out of this is that your board of directors is in full control of the monies allotted to you by the town to spend how you see fit. However, you do have to go through the channel of using the town treasurer. That it also says that you can appoint people to positions as you see fit. So I think, and this is just my personal opinion, not the opinion of the board in any way, shape, or form, is that possibly appointing somebody to do finances on your end before they get to the town treasurer, and work hand in hand with the town treasurer to make sure that your numbers line up with the numbers that Audrey has, and keep a book of your own so that we know everything is being done. We can work with Audrey to figure out what dates certain things need to be filed. I in no way, shape, or form can tell you that, this needs to be filed on this date. I just don't know that information. So, I mean, I think in this case, a little bit of teamwork will go a long ways. Whereas instead of hiring somebody, working as close as possible as we can with Audrey to get this resolved and working smoothly.
And I will say that our librarian has been here weekly trying to do that.
Okay.
We have not seen a financial report since.
Yeah, and the one that I said I have.
February.
Okay, the one that I said I have here, I didn't look at the date right off, and I think it's,
Excuse me, but I don't see, I don't see her.
Okay, I'm just saying that this is what we've been told.
I had to go to the lengths of going to the library on my own time, try to get a hold of her. She doesn't respond to my emails.
Well, we don't need to get into it.
Well, no,
Obviously, that's not what we're being told with the board of trustees.
I'm just trying to saying that I would like the communication to be open, more open, because if I read reports and not correct reports, then I need to know, and not wait until I go to her and ask her.
so, when are your things typically filed? Do you have a warrant twice a month?
Twice a month.
Okay. All right, and your meetings are,
First Monday.
so first Monday, so that theoretically that stuff should be getting here probably Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest, which would be 3 to 4 days before our first meeting of the month.
And I believe they are.
Okay. This one is up to date to May 3rd. You can take this and see if it aligns with what you have. That's the date.
There's a second page on that.
Yeah. Okay. Ah. Go to the next one. Yep, so this is up to date 8/31.
No, once a month. Meetings once a month. Yeah. Once a month.
If you can take this and have,
Thank you very much.
and maybe, Audrey, if you could give them a up-to-date balance on their account so that they can start to register their own, just track it so that they know where they are on their end as the board of trustees. We'll have it on our end, and then we can make sure when you do have the communications that everybody is on the same page, there's no miscommunications, there's no, everything's going smoothly. Does that make sense? Does that work for everybody?
We will certainly try. Can we get an assurance that we're not going to be back in the water? We
Well, that's what we just talked about.
That's
is
what I
making-
was wondering. Are you aware that there was three? There's been three checks that have been,
Two of them before I even came to work in December 21st.
this is
They
June.
was in June.
I have two for June and one for August here.
That was the one that I paid it with the phone bill.
Did you not receive those?
No,
And anything that you would see on your end,
but after
if
the
you
year
sent to Audrey,
was,
carbon copies, the rest of the board, so we know.
Do you happen to know what the ARPA funds include the libraries? I don't know.
Working on,
I didn't realize that.
working on
Working on.
what we can do.
So, as I said, that's not my question, it's your question. Did I have to hear that myself?
Well, where is the principal amount of the HF Brigham budgetary funds? Where are they kept? In separate account, is there, it's a checking account, or is that a savings account?
Checking and savings.
If it's checking and savings, and they've got a balance of $30,439, I don't see how we can bounce some checks.
The first time it happened was because I didn't know I wasn't completing the transaction. I thought that I was transferring money to the account. And
We're transferring it from where to where? I mean, this is a separate account for the HF Brigham Library.
savings.
What are we earning in savings?
Three quarters of a percent.
Maybe 2%.
Not even. Savings account are earning less than 1. So there is no logical reason for keeping the balance of the checking account so that we run it up there. Run it up to, run the balance of the checking account so that they can write a check without having to worry about bouncing the damn thing. And you don't have to worry about transferring funds at the last minute to get it there. We're not earning anything worthwhile in the savings account. Bring the balance of the checking account up to a reasonable amount so it covers, it will cover everything. And we won't have to worry about bouncing checks anymore.
I would think. they
Is my
keep a
opinion.
tally and
I'm one member of the board.
No, I agree with you, but I was told not to borrow, not to transfer any more money.
We are earning such a small amount on the savings account that we can afford to run the balance of the checking account up to a reasonable amount that's going to cover.
What is the, do you have a,
I don't have a problem at all.
sorry, I gave away my papers. We have a monthly expense for the. Don't hand it to me, 'cause I have to sleep.
He's going to have to pay it now.
What are you looking for?
Just like what our total warrants were for the month. So 8, and also 2,000, 2,200. I would dare say you could run $7,500 in that account and not harm anything. Transfer the amounts every month for the warrants, and we'd be covered by $5,000. Sorry. No, I will
Take it
never
right.
saw it. Is this another one? Well, that's it. Okay. Are you all set with us? Or do you have anything you would like to ask, say?
Not
Okay. All right.
but I would like to ask. Well, here, where that.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you, Roger. Can I bump you? We can pass another quote.
Yeah, that's fine. Are we, just observing over here, or do we, just listening?
We actually came especially to learn information about Brigham. I don't know the hospital. Brigham's resident update.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
I just bumped him, after. That's terrible.
I was wondering, I didn't see the library.
Yeah,
Yeah, I updated that like later that day.
sorry.
That's okay. We're happy.
Were you here for the library or different?
Just watching.
Just watching.
I've got a bunch of lawyers here today.
And in the doorway.
Just watching the show.
All sorts of spectators tonight. I like it. I'll be honest with you. When people show up to watch, I love it. When they show up to be playing, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on board with the update for the.
Okay. Let me, I'm sorry, you got me on track.
Sorry.
Let me fire this
Technically, you were ahead of.
old girl up here. Basically, what we have, what's happening with Brigham. All right, we applied for and received a planning grant. The planning grant is $45,000 from Housing and Urban Development and $10,000 from the Franklin County Industrial Development Corporation. We are in the process of getting everybody with their paperwork all lined up so that we can actually start. I think they're going pretty well. Paul Dreyer and his architectural firm will be working with several other firms to do what? Oh, sorry. To do planning, and it is. All right, let me pull my notes out. No, I got them here. We're working with the state, Sophia Benito Allison, from grants. All right, the grant official starting date is August 31st. So everybody is working in earnest from that date forward. Bakersfield is also available to receive money from the A&R Agency of Natural Resources for wastewater. And that is a forgivable loan on top of this $45,000. That would be to help us with the septic system. Okay, the septic system obviously is not up to date and is sorely lacking for whatever purposes we're going to be using it. That building? There was. They're trying to determine whether or not it's usable or not. All right, timelines. As I said, everybody is working in earnest from August 31st on, and that is the Northwest Regional Planning Commission, Paul Dreyer, and several other organizations as well through the state. We're available to receive improvement loans from the CWSR, which is the clean water. It's through the NRA's Clean Water Act. I'm sorry. There we go. Clean water and drinking water. And it's a state the SRF stands for State Revolving Loan. So Clean Water State Revolving Loan, which is up to, I believe, $125,000. And it is a forgivable loan if you qualify. And this program, from what we can see so far, does qualify. We've had to sign, we're going to need to sign several policies tonight, the town municipal policy liabilities from the VLCT, the MP1, the MP4, the contract with the Northwest Regional Planning Commission, and the contract with Paul Dreyer. Test pits will start this fall. They will be doing test pits on the lawn down there with septic system in October. There will be a building inspection, possibly this fall, certainly by spring, and they plan on having public tours in the spring of 22. Part of this plan is to bring in the public on tours for informational meetings. There'll be public visioning meetings. Paul Dreyer is having a quick artist there. That is his plan at this time. So that people from the meeting would be able to talk to the artist and he could sketch up really quick what people are envisioning so that other people can do it more easily. It's looking really good. We're not looking at this point, we're not looking for more public involvement. At a little bit later date, we absolutely will be. We want to get as many people involved as we possibly can. Okay? We want everybody there who has any interest or any opinion as to what it should be done. What should be done with this building? We want there at this public visioning meeting, if not before. But that'll be next spring. It won't be this fall. It won't be this winter. This winter, they're planning, they're doing feasibility studies. They'll be sending out questionnaires, and we'll have informational meetings where we're looking for a general sense of what the public wants. Okay? We'll get more specific in the spring. I know I'm kind of haphazard.
I think it covers the basis is that they're doing the feasibility study. Limited input until the spring when they will reach out to the community for their input.
They will be asking for input through the feasibility study, but not through public meetings right now.
When you say they're gonna do tours,
Yes.
what's the deal with that? Because before our insurance company,
We're gonna have to talk to Rhoda and everything's gonna have to they're gonna have to get their stuff out of there.
no, I know, but before the insurance company didn't want.
They'll
to
make
let
sure
the
that it's
public
safe.
in there.
They'll make sure that it's safe. Any areas, any dangers, road out.
That's what I wondered, if there were roads,
And I
so
would,
there's just like,
and I would imagine that would almost be on, where, I would imagine it would be on that. That would be their insurance. They would have an insurance policy for that site.
I'm sure.
It wouldn't be on the town to assure.
No, because that's not true, because one of the things they are asking for is our liability clause. on
I was gonna
insurance.
say,
Yeah, okay.
I doubt they're holding the insurance on
No,
that.
not yet, not yet.
Do you have a question?
I do. How do you do? Hi. My name is Bernadette Burley, and I brought a board that came together, Diana Capsey. And I'm not going to really give you my opinions of how it, because you want it in the spring, so I have more questions than opinions right now. When you speak about the public, what does that mean? Public opinion, or is it strictly just for Bakersfield residents? Is it Franklin County? Is it the state of Vermont? How do you
Well,
decide?
if it's going to be used as a retirement community home, yes, it will mostly impact Bakersfield, but no, it will include outlying communities as well.
Because the only thing that I'm familiar with, and I think this is not a suggestion, is my parents were involved in an old school and it was changed for residential. And they had a criteria, they had different levels. And I don't know who decided that, whether it was the state, the town, because they did get federal and state funds. So I was familiar about how it all took place. But I learned very little. I'm learning it sort of through rumors, what it might be used for. And I don't want to, I don't want to leave here tonight saying, well, I don't know much more than I did by the rumors. I wanted to know, like, is it in fact, are you all telling me that it is in fact the senior housing? But the input, I was a little confused by that statement.
For instance, we're going to lose the gymnasium. And I'm sorry to see that go, but in order to make it financially feasible, it has to make some money. And in order to make enough money to run on its own, we're going to have a certain amount of residences in this room. And to do that, we're going to have to keep the gymnasium.
We're gonna keep the auditorium, right?
The auditorium is staying.
That happened at one of the, another residential.
The plan now, the historical preservation, there's another word there, I'm sorry. Anyhow, the Vermont Historical Preservation Council Committee, whatever, and they have given funds for this building in the past, for instance, the roof. They are insisting that the auditorium stays in at least one of the grand staircases. The downstairs, are you familiar with the building?
Only because I substitute taught quite frequently in Bakersfield.
Okay.
And I was always asking questions about the building because of my previous experience with parents and family members. And
So the big room downstairs was the study hall when I went there. Is going to be an open cafeteria, public meeting area. And that is the tentative plan for now. They were looking between 30 and 40 units is what they were looking for.
I looked all this up on the computer because I wanted to be a little bit more.
Okay, so you're familiar with
A
this.
little bit.
Okay. This is all subject to change as approved by the historical preservation. Council.
Will there be a company that runs this, like Alliance or Joe Schmoesville or whatever? I mean,
Heidi Eichenberg's long-term plan is to turn it over. She wants to, obviously, she won't do it and not make bank. But she's going to renovate the building, make her fair share, and she's going to turn it over, and it will be a self-sustaining entity. However,
That's like.
well, I do, yeah, there's a lot of responsibility there.
It would be like a homeowners association.
wow.
The way it was explained to us at first,
Yeah, there are,
and it was said that, I'm going back to like one of the first years I was on board, that there would be a, for lack of a better term, homeowners association that, like a committee that could set, the standard, much the same as what you were talking about, it's like tiers. So first priority on the units would be retiring Bakersfield residents. And then, the trickle down effect from there if it didn't fit. That was the way it was first pitch, I would say. But there again, we're talking.
Would it be for sale or for rent or both?
The way it was explained is it was a rental.
it would be rent.
It would be a rental unit. It would still belong to, the building itself would belong to an entity of the town. And they would be rented through, hopefully to be a self-sustaining unit. That was the way I interpreted it. Don't take that to heart. Okay.
We were actually looking for someone like Cathedral Square to take over the general operations. But Cathedral Square, they approached us, and Melissa Southwick approached us, Kathy Lavoy through the Northwest Regional Planning Commission, and asked if, who was going to run it, and they were interested. But at the last minute, Melissa said, thank you for reaching out regarding Brigham Academy. The team is in the beginning stages of preparing for work for another grant, and they don't have time to do it with this time
My
and resources.
feeling is, and I could be totally off base, but my feeling is with the housing crisis in Vermont and elsewhere, and especially for seniors, I was looking at statistics about seniors in this area within the next couple of years are going to be 65 and older. And it's my understanding that there is a real shortage. I could be very misinformed. So I would think that getting grants and funding, federal especially, would be coming through. Am I just being too naive?
No, that is the plan.
Okay.
And Heidi Eichenberg is planning on that, hoping for that to make this project work. Okay, she's not funding the entire project herself, by no means. Bakersfield is doing their, donating their part in kind by, the cost of the building was, how much? 360. It's worth $365,000. We're donating that to the cause. We're not looking for any funding for that. So.
Well, you are also to be commended for your community especially, and then the Franklin County and the state of Vermont, given what the future looks like, really. I think it's getting worse than I've experienced in the past 20 years. And I think it's wonderful what you're doing, and I'm very interested. That is my friend Diana.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks. Have a nice day.
There's the email concerning the engineering service agreement for the CWSRF. And this is the state reaching out to Paul Dreher, saying, please submit a draft, and we'll see what we can give you for money for the clean water. So, and that's the septic system. So, any other questions on that? I know I'm a little haphazard on that. I wasn't as prepared as I should have
Septic
been.
that's there today is not usable. Is that what you're saying with that?
It's not connected.
There.
There may or may not be a leach field under there. And if it is, it certainly wouldn't be adequate for 40,000.
Don't have to go down the bank, that would work, wouldn't it?
That would, yeah, that's what it used to have.
We're right.
What? 262. Okay.
All right.
But it's $250,000 minimum that the town of Bakersfield is donating to the project.
I have a couple questions. Will this building be owned by the people of Bakersfield? Or will the government, federal government have some say as to how this is all handled and what procedures take place as far as the units, renting of the units and?
It is going to be run, the plan was that it is going to be run by a board of trustees. And someone who can manage that. There have been several names mentioned. I haven't seen anybody qualified to do that. That's why Cathedral Square was, when they offered, it was very attractive. They're extremely well qualified to handle a project like this. And it would be just the management part of it. They wouldn't own it, they just manage it.
So Bakersfield would still own the building?
No,
No?
no. Bakersfield is giving up the building so that the building may be safe. Okay? If we don't do that at this point, we're gonna lose the building. And we're more than willing to give it away for $1 or sell it for $1 rather than seek demolish.
Another question is, that I'm sitting here because a friend of mine just bought a 138-acre farm in Hyde Park. And the week that they bought it, 2 weeks later, it could have gone for 200,000 more. So what the figure you're giving, I'm a little bit flabbergasted in a way.
Have you been in the building recently?
I haven't.
The building has declined. And that's why I said, if we don't do something now, we're going to lose it. I was not an exaggeration. Okay? We could not. I say that, yes, we're giving a building that's worth $265,000 away, but we couldn't get it.
No, I was thinking you could get more money for it.
I wish. I wish.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit naive at times.
But we also have to consider that there is an elementary school in very close proximity to this. And we have to be careful what the building is going to be used.
In time that we're referring to, the 262,000, that is not a set in stone price.
No.
If the market goes up like it is right now and makes some senior housing is going up, the people that are doing the construction could see a value of that building higher than what.
That's my point. I'm trying
And
to
that's that's not set in stone, that's just
Good, good.
that's,
Well,
that's the appraised
Good.
number that's on it at this point.
If we had to sell a building in order for them to use it, it wouldn't be sold.
I see.
Put this way, it's guaranteed that something good is going to happen.
It's not guaranteed, but it's looking very good. I'm not going to use those terms.
Yeah.
We've used those terms before, and it's all.
It's looking good.
It's looking better than it has.
Yes.
I do have a question now.
That's what I was gonna-
I've been listening. Now, the school used to own it, the town used to own it, school used to own it, now the school, now it's back to the town. If this project doesn't come through, you do the perk testing and the feasible studies, and it doesn't go through, this project doesn't happen, what happens to the building? Who owns it after all that happens?
We still
You still own it?
Yeah.
Even though you use it as income?
We have,
own.
that's
haven't
just,
used it at this point.
that was just to get this grant. I mean, as much as I'd like to sit here and say, this is going to happen, you know, in the spring of 2022, they're going to start planning construction. And they're going to start spitting out job orders. Well, it's all contingent upon this feasibility study and the planning study and what they come up with. Okay, and how much it's going to cost to put in a septic system, how much it's going to cost to completely rebuild the building's infrastructure.
So I thought
I
at
mean,
one
we
time.
have
the
a
building-
shell, but we have nothing inside. We have no plumbing. We have no.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because the building at one time was
We have no
condemned
electricity.
100%. How can you take something that's condemned 100%, pull it back
It
around?
rejuvenated itself.
$100,000.
20 years it rejuvenated itself.
Figure.
I don't think it's ever.
We're planning,
I think
we're hoping on grants, and this is probably going to be minimum. The numbers have been bandied around, but people are hesitant to commit themselves, but it's going to be over $3 million.
Yeah, I heard there's about 2.2.
The biggest thing will be that septic, because you don't have a lot of land.
One thing I can guarantee, this is plenty of room for septic up front. I can guarantee this. That if the town of Bakersfield has to pay that $3 million to renovate that building, it will not be renovated.
Definitely not.
It's a sad fact.
Yeah.
This community cannot afford that.
So it'll be, when it all happens, if it happens, I'm gonna pretend it's happened, it's gonna happen. Will, the town won't own it. Some other entity will own it.
Yep.
That, will the town get taxes out of it?
I'd be willing to defer taxes if they move in and renovate it and save it. I say defer, I did not say eliminate them. Okay,
There's still a lot of other things.
I'm just asking.
No, yeah.
that's a good question.
That's not a board's opinion, that's the
This is, that's absolutely correct. There are 4 other members and then they disagree with me completely. But I would be willing, for one, I would be willing to defer taxes on that project.
So I understood when she was at the beginning that she was signing it over for $1, she was doing the whole deal, and then they were gonna sign it back over to the board of trustees.
Board of Directors for Reagan, for the Reagan
Reagan.
Residence Project.
And you're the only Bakersfield resident, or there was gonna be one Bakersfield resident on the board or something? They wanted one Bakersfield resident on the board.
I was asked if I would be on the Board of Directors. I have not committed, and that may not be, it may not be an option. So originally, I was asked. And so was Penny Bass.
She's
So
no
it's
longer
not
resident.
true that somebody in Canada bought it?
Nobody's bought it yet. Heidi
You see, I told you.
Eichenberg, yes, she does work in Canada,
Oh,
and her residence, I believe, is in Canada.
okay.
She's also done work in Newport. They did a large project there.
The way she described it was very similar to this one, around the same time frame and size. So,
And same amount of work inside.
I don't know I'm not sure how much work, or how much time she spent inside at that one. The crew she showed up with, I didn't think there was anything with that crew, it looked like they could figure it out, there was a lot more people there. There were people that were there had a lot more knowledge of structures like that than I did.
Certainly, than any of us here.
They had
If it simplifies things, Heidi Eichenberg works in conjunction with Paul Dreher. Paul Dreher is an architect. Heidi is into construction projects. They would build it for time and materials, okay? And some of their money funding, as much as they could get, and they are both willing to work towards this, is coming from grants as much as possible. They thought that this was a worthwhile project and almost all of it could be done from grants. Okay, so she's not doing it for free. It would be unreasonable for anybody to do it for free, but
nothing for
John,
yeah.
sorry.
Go for it.
Years ago, if I remember right, I'm in that 66K range.
Really?
Look older now.
Hey, Gary, I know where you live. Don't be slapping down road. I think I've been here longer than that. I almost made me forget what I asked. The 30,000 that we received in the grant for the roof, the slate roof,
100,000, wasn't it?
It's 104.
okay. That was to take off the roof,
No, they replaced the machine.
they replaced it with shingles, okay, so
That was on the school.
don't confuse me.
No, she's right.
I needed $1 back then. Okay, actually, I did, I offered 20,000 for that building once. Anyway, okay, you said, Lance, that they actually have a say in what still stays?
Who does?
That one who gave the grant for the roof.
The historical.
Yes, and historical preservation.
So they can say what part of the building.
It's building is on the historical register.
Yes,
That's where they come in, not because they gave the money, but because it's on the historical register.
The way it was explained to me is the exterior will remain the same, and the
That is
interior can be amended.
To a certain degree.
It's like the Quincy. When you get into the Quincy.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
yes.
Paul Dreyer said that he could be available if there were questions that we couldn't answer tonight, so. He's sitting at home watching TV. He said he'd be watching Netflix, so.
Yeah.
And he's not watching
Well, you know, he could be.
You don't need to bring down the family for sale. $1 million.
Okay. At this time, is there any other questions in regards to the Brigham residence update?
I'm sorry, it was a little haphazard and
It's nothing more than- it's nothing more than you and
I know this isn't what you want to hear, but we're used to it.
yeah, right.
All right, so on to roads. So there.
No.
All right,
really all that.
moving on to work.
Hold on to the paragraph.
I didn't hear the question, sorry.
Water.
Oh, no.
Whitney will be closed on the 27th for 2 weeks. He's hoping 1 week. But it's 2 weeks, and during that time, it will not be passable from.
And you're talking.
So where are you talking?
Down by Haverlock?
So September, I see, Brendan put a thing on the big.
Yes, we don't mean the 27th Monday is when they will get.
You know, you're talking the culvert
Before-
down the hill from Blake's, just past Haverlock Road,
Tony Hamlet.
just to give,
this side of town.
okay, so it's on.
This
Is
side,
It's past Tony,
that what it is?
Teresa Road,
just past.
Lost
that.
Nation Road.
Right,
Right,
right where they couldn't travel last year during the Halloween storm.
so like Tony,
Tony
Blake, they're gonna have to come out
will
to
go out
108.
Fairfield.
Huh?
Tony will go out there.
He can go out there.
Everybody else is gonna have to come with it.
And that is closed 24 hours a day. Just to clarify, because Facebook when we post it. And we just want to make sure that we're giving out the right information. Closed, going that way from that point. Big one.
He's planning on digging it, what he told me last was, digging it on Monday, he gives him a Tuesday and a Wednesday to, if there's anything he didn't see, ledge, anything else. Then Thursday, they set the culvert, Friday, he backfills and to have it passable.
Does this affect Lost Nation? Are they gonna be able to come out and go to Fairfield, or are they
They'll
gonna
be
have
able
to
to go
come out one
They'll
way?
be able to go either way, the Lost Nation.
Lost Nation, yeah, it doesn't affect
It's
Lost
just
Nation.
that anybody besides Tony on the Whitney Road is gonna have to go up to 108.
Okay,
Can you, send me a note on that exactly, because I'm gonna post it up for people. I'm curious, there's also a logging operation that's gonna start in the next few days up in there. You would have to, you know, it's gotta come up.
Well, that'll be fun, coming off on the way.
We just posted on the front page.
That, yeah, you better be going north, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
okay,
that'll be going north.
yeah, back towards town.
He won't be, a logging truck won't be able to make that turn.
Need to
He
be
goes
on,
south on 108.
need to be on the northbound lane for way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Definitely can't come out the other way.
Well,
Oh, you went anyway. To be honest.
we just
He's
closed
on
the road.
the side.
And go past the bridge,
There you
it'll be done.
Catch on.
Terry, are we in the 50s?
I think
I
so.
would assume he's gonna put signs up this time better than he did the last time, that's what I was told.
Can we do we have anything like a notice sign or any sign that we could put there that would have the dates on it that we could put out ahead of time? Just
Advance notice?
I would rather put something up there and have somebody be like, well, why the hell did you tell me that? It's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Then,
I understand.
When you get to the road close on, just put a date on it.
if we could do that and just put it, you know, just.
Well,
have it
usually
pressed,
they do, most towns do that.
well,
They'll
somehow,
have a
yeah.
sign up, they'll say road will be closed, da, 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 da.
Do we need to put anything in the paper?
I don't know. I've
Maybe
never
pull
seen that.
the addresses of,
You should not need road.
maybe pull Tony Haverlock's address and say Whitney Road will be closed from this address east and from this address west.
I don't think you can put the name on it, can you?
No, just the address number. No, yeah, I'm saying pin Tony's house, you know. I mean, here in Bakersfield, we use names, but you know.
I might be looking for you.
Is that, we can make that happen?
Yeah, I just,
And we gotta make sure you reach out to the emergency personnel.
we got that 3 days in advance. With all the emergency vehicles, the school bus, the mailman, he's been told we have to do that 3 days in advance. That's a different situation than we're up there.
Okay,
Are you want to reach out to the school bus, or I can do that?
You can do it, but he is to do that. That's.
Okay,
That's
okay,
what Scott's.
they're gonna take care of that too.
You probably get hold of it.
Scott, you have-
Please.
That's what he did, up here. He did take care of that. He just didn't give us like the name. Like, we're gonna start.
Job contract with no folders.
Any other others? Any complaints, concerns?
well, if anyone's looked at Facebook, there's a ton of complaints.
That's where you're gonna get your road right now.
So where are we with this road trimming, mowing?
I don't know, do you want me to stop fixing mud holes or for the spring, or do you want me,
Well, there's 3 of you, so maybe one.
no, it doesn't work that way there.
Why?
One's in the excavator, two are drawing stones and drawing dirt out of the road. It doesn't fix itself by one person or 2 people. And one
But I
person.
thought we already did the mowing.
We did the most, because apparently some people have problems with some trees on the side of the road. They can't see coming out of their driveway, which if it was me, I'd cut a few trees on the side of my driveway. Apparently some people don't think of it that way. And apparently, I mean, I'm not on Facebook, I haven't read all the good things that came down this afternoon, but I've had one person threaten to resign on the crew already, because this is just pure, you know, no other towns are like this. And I talked to somebody from Berkshire, and I talked to somebody from Enos, that was working in Enosburg last Friday, and he said there's no difference. No difference at all.
In what? No difference in what though?
Brush wise, yes, they both have the lawn arm mowers and the grader, and they take care of that problem. But as far as,
Yeah, and for another year, we have discussed renting a tractor, but it's not gonna happen this
Does
year.
that, the unit we have, does that, quite honestly, I don't like the way municipal roads look when they go.
Oh, I
through
hate
with
that, I'll chop to pieces.
They basically take a brush hog and tip it on edge and use that to
That's-
seed in. It looks terrible. I feel like somebody would
But
get
some
hurt more
of
with
the
some of
people
that
are
stuff.
not, we're not all Bakersfield residents, but they travel some of our roads. And they're saying that the wildlife is not,
They're doing 50 miles an hour down a 30-mile-an-hour road too, I mean.
I'm not 30 miles an hour,
Anyway, go down by the big dick, if they're doing 50, it's better down that road,
it's not a 30 mile an hour road.
and I'm saying, from this little road, you should be doing 50 anyway.
Nobody said anything about a speed limit, they're worried about not being able to see.
I've been here for 30 years, and, it hasn't changed much, and I just.
I live on the main road, so
I mean, people
I
are,
can't
I just
tell
think
you
people are coming from
what's bad
that,
or what's good.
people are
but-
moving from the city to here, and they don't like.
Well,
Again,
one of
Well, they like it in the fall, and they
Like-
take their pictures, and the trees go like this.
anyway,
So,
But one way or the other, they're still taxpayers and we,
And the taxpayers
We need
need to
to do
understand
better.
where the biggest part of their taxpayer money goes to. It's not the roads.
that was one of the concerns I had.
oh, I know it's not the roads.
They get
I
it in
know
their
it's
head,
not the roads.
you know, I mean, I heard we didn't get credit for cutting the trees down here, and I was told that night at the thing by one of those two people, that leave the stumps high, I'm gonna cut them down, dig down, and take care of that thing. They're still sitting there, it's been over a month. Now, you know,
Well, you got credit for it.
yeah.
Yep.
You
The
get
comment-
credit for the stumps, too, right?
Yeah, the comment was,
Because I was told to leave
the comment
stumps
was, they'll come do the rest of that road when they finish this job.
high.
And
That wasn't the one that started it, was it?
no.
That's the one that told me, leave them high.
Well, those are all set. Yeah,
So I guess my point is, we bought equipment.
What we bought.
I thought we bought a mower.
It is,
Well, I was
but
thinking
you,
about
you,
it.
you,
I don't know what that-
they mowed,
So-
they mowed
So
the
we
grass.
couldn't cut trees with it.
It's It's just relatively, this region, and which is also very.
Well, what's this got to do with Chris Cheese and China Line trying to talk about something else?
What you trying to have, right there?
So my point being is that we did buy equipment, obviously the equipment we bought can't do everything. But when we were working on the mowing piece, why didn't we do some of the trimming piece? Even if it meant doing it by hand,
We do
and
trim,
maybe not,
just because we didn't do that particular spot does not mean we're not trimming. Every summer we cut brush, all three of us, a chipper, the whole works. Maybe not in that place, but over Lance's last year, or Witch Cat last year, I mean,
so we have lawyers this time.
Yeah,
Of
mine gets
course.
plowed first too.
I've seen where Lance lives, I didn't see any brush.
Of course not.
I hope.
No, I
hope
mean,
people
I mean,
listen
like,
to
there's no
recognize
trees
sarcasm.
Oh,
So,
nothing, there's no, oh, that's not.
They turned up my way.
So we did Lawyer Road, and we did.
yeah, over by Domes.
You might go too, didn't you?
we did by zone, we skip around and try to hit the worst places. And let me just tell you, address one other thing. The last time we cut on the Kings Hill Road, we were told we cut too much because Grandpa George was gonna go in the ditch, because there was no more trees there, to guide him. And you can tell me where that one came from.
It's not with us anymore.
I mean, that's no reason that we're not cutting up there, but that's, that little section they cut. I don't think was a public safety hazard. There's a lot worse places in town than that. I have not been up to see this beautiful job, but I'm sure it's perfect.
Well, I don't know either. I just know that a lot of people came on saying, well, our road hasn't been done either, and our road hasn't been done
Tell me
either.
who they are, and I'll tell you if they're telling you the truth or not.
One was King Road, not King's Hill.
King, we've been on King Road in the last couple of years. I mean, I'm not going end to end, but
One comment was 10 years on King Road, I believe.
on King Hill, I think it was.
I guess that would depend on which parking, so if it was past parking, that would, that's possible.
Yeah. And the other thing is, there's not a whole lot of trees on the Kings Hill Road. You got one little spot, you got meadows on both sides, you got a farm, you got all those houses, and then you go up the hill. I mean,
Actually, I had two complaints on King Road. What is the deal with, did we put new on top of the hill or something? Did we try to put pothole?
we put some reclaimed blacktop in those ruts.
And it didn't work? That what happened?
I thought it looked pretty good.
Go up there on top of the hill, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Fine, I go there, cross every night.
I haven't even been up there.
It's better when it was, it was rough.
It's very hard to say. It was
Real
real
rough
rough,
cross that long down or what.
So that's on East Bakersfield Road. not King.
That's all,
Well, I don't come in that end, I was.
Oh, right, Jeff, okay.
Right there where the apron.
Okay.
It's black, all broken up. And it's big.
Austin Post was the one.
complaining about some things.
No trimming, the brush.
Okay.
Where? It has to be the only spot where we have trees. which would be
Well,
between
I
the
think
golf
it's
course
by the
and-
golf course, because
would
I
have to-
almost had a car hit me the other day, I think it's this evening,
Where is this? This is on our outside of the
on the
road.
golf course. No,
Or you were on the wrong side of the road.
no, I was coming towards Bakersfield, he was coming off. Ivan Stone's.
I haven't stole side. It's pretty clear. If
I'm
they
just
stop,
saying,
if they stop at the end of their driveway.
And then,
And I mean, I travel that road quite regularly.
I'm just telling you. what
No,
is
no,
out there.
I understand.
And we can sit here and pretend it's not, but it is, because here's,
Again, we've got an excavator rented for a month, Terry, so it's not happening in the next month. After that, and things cool down, yeah, we do. We've got the sand pile 3/4 up right now. That's when we usually cut brush in the fall and, in between.
Well, financially, I agree with Mac. It doesn't make sense to split the crew up when we have an excavator that we rented for a month. And to make that excavator,
What are we doing with the excavator? Sorry, I missed
We're
that.
doing trench drains and ditches and some culvert replacement.
And from a safety standpoint, there's no way in hell I would put somebody else running the chainsaw
by themselves, absolutely not.
And where are we doing that?
We started up just east of the Snide Farm. We've been up to the 2 holes that we did by Murphy's. Let's see, today's Monday, by the end of the week, we'll be up by the Snide, by the Doyle Farm. We're working our way down the Doyle Road to any place that had a mud hole or that needed ditching. Then we're gonna go out Butternut. We're gonna go up the top of Fore Farm, then we're going out the Fore Farm to as far as Steels where that big hole was.
Yep.
But placing a culvert out there. Then we're gonna move to Basswood to hit that hill where it was bad last. spring.
just below Brent.
Yes, and then we're moving over to the Lost Nation. Actually, there's a spot on the Whitney Road and then 2 spots on the Lost Nation Road above Ross Allen, at which time we will be covered by BJ's. It needs generally replacement.
The ones that we did, that Brandon was kind enough to give us some big stone for, are those getting trench drained too.
By Murphy's. Just beside Terry Malone.
Yeah,
They're done.
yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that was Murphy. I thought you were talking
Oh,
about the
yeah,
younger
it was-
pond. Yep, okay,
No, those are done.
okay.
The other side of Joe
We
The
got
other
two-
side, yes.
We got 2 in front, but just the side of, just the other side of Brenda's, we got those 2 by Terry Malone. I'll say. And then we're heading up the hill, Doyle Hill, to hit that long one just from.
Okay, yep.
And then there's 1 or 2 the rest of the way on the road.
That's what you do, ours. We're Doyle. We talked last year with Lance, you and whatever, are we gonna be putting in the culvert to go down the side so that it's going my head? Josh, you were there too.
Yeah, I'm sure, refresh my memory, which side, are we talking, Stonehouse side of the front? Okay.
That would be a matter of if we can get permission from the landowner to upsize the culverts, that's gonna put more water down onto them and whether they want the water or not.
Well, we already had the engineers there, I think. That, they're from the state or whatever, government came. I've already spoken to John, whatever his name, I think it was West. And Brenda, or not Brenda, but Deborah, they said they didn't have a problem with that.
Because he understands can put more water on it.
He goes to the big culvert, which is kind of a brook. that
And I
runs
was
there.
culvert before that, and there's ledge between there and the culvert. Just the side of the little driveway that we got to that camp, there's a culvert right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's not a big culvert, that's a little culvert. And that's the one down by Deb's. There's another one between there and your property. Small one goes across.
Then so you're talking across the house from the Stonehouse, but before, Rob Toy's camp driveway.
Just before Rockford.
Okay. And that would, those two culverts must pretty much end up in the same spot, don't they? I mean, it's just one's ahead of the driveway. one's below the driveway.
One on this side of Rockford would go down on the, what used to be Wendell's. That would,
Yeah.
that would go out into
Okay.
there. If it went past that, 2 routes towards culvert, then it would go between Wendell Road driveway and, Deb's, I'm assuming Deb's.
I'm just gonna pull up the agency and natural resources map, just right. They don't believe you, I just can't control that, that's all.
No, the big culvert is just this side, between Wendell's old driveway and Deb's. There's a 3-foot culvert in it.
Okay. But as far as, so you're talking about, ditching the uphill side to get it
I don't know,
out of.
I'm losing use of those fields.
I mean, it's no different than it's ever been, the culverts have been there longer than I've been,
But the road is really almost 3 feet through the barn of the house.
so that water doesn't go that way.
But it can't get anywhere.
That will be addressed probably during the rest of this week. There'll be ditches.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying, there will be ditches, there'll be from, like where Jimmy used to park his tractor toward the sugar house, and then from the sugar house road down through, there will be ditches. And
That-
whatever we need to do,
That will cure it then. That'll take it from the field down to the culvert.
Until the ditch is filling.
it'll take it to the culvert that's going across, that she's concerned about now.
Going into the field. As long as it, the water is not supposed to be going here.
We're losing between 25 and 30 years old, pasture grown better. And it's $65 a bale, it's pretty expensive for me. Of course, now I'm not milking, but I still hay.
As I say, the water's always down.
So we're talking from here to here.
Yeah, I think so.
And the problem is there's a culvert here, there's nothing other than this here. Okay.
I thought I took Brenda, Josh, and Lance over there to show you. Individuals.
I looked at the property.
Yeah, 'cause that would be.
It's for the rigging man.
Alright. Yeah, I'll close this way.
I'd be willing to, Josh,
Yeah,
I'd be willing to fill in that particular culvert and put a culvert where it goes to the sugar house and have it go down the side like the other does. Buy rock toys, take it out of my field.
But then the problem is, you say west property.
There's gotta be at least a 3-foot culvert there.
No, that's past that one, there's one this side of it. The side of Rockwood.
Well, I had the NSCS up there with a couple engineers and they were saying that there's 3 culverts that are running into my field, which is something that probably shouldn't be going on.
Where the 3 cars are. The one right in front of, they're trying to drain the mud hole, has been there forever. The big one down in the middle of Doyle Hill, which has been there forever. That runs, yeah. And if the NRS wants to try to give us money to fix this problem, then go for it. I mean, you're talking.
They just do suggestions, but they see the situation because we're trying to prevent soil erosion and loss of use on
I
fields.
understand that.
for the farmers.
So if you want to save the town about $5,000, $20,000 probably, you could ditch away from the culvert where it goes across the road right now. That would be a far cheaper option than to put a culvert across your driveway. Take out the culvert that obviously goes into Wendell's and blast the ledge, and then do a hydraulic study on that 30-inch to see if it's gonna take all the water from the fields down there. You just can't,
You can't just replace the 30 inches.
you're talking hydraulic study.
If it was a 2-footer, you could just replace it 30 inches.
Well, but the problem is, if you put the metal water from the top of the rise by the house, all the way down through there, I don't think that 30 inches is big. You got a stream there, you got a cross pipe before that. And you got the cross pipe between the Sugar House Road and the tractor shed all across.
So between the tractor shed, I'm gonna call it, and the barn on the wood side, the opposite side of the barn, that ditch is gonna be dug so that the water goes back down the road like it used to. Side of it.
Even the culvert was used, yeah. Culvert was plumbed there, they replaced a couple years ago.
So this goes, so, yeah, so it goes to this point here, crosses. and the Easiest, the simplest solution is a drainage ditch here. That would remove all the water from both this side, where it seems to be flowing, and where it seems to be right here. Yeah. Yeah, have you had a hydraulic study done? Is that what they,
No,
no, okay.
but they're gonna talk with you guys, Mac or whatever.
So at this point, Mac, you're ditching from, we'll call it the tractor shed, down to the, sugar house. And that's all coming to the cross pipe, it's it, about the middle point, right there. So is it sloping like this?
Very little of the Sugar House goes back to the pipe, I would say.
Okay.
Most of it comes down to Sugar House Road and goes up to the road.
Okay. And then everything from the sugar house driveway down to the edge of the field is caught by the smaller culvert, and then everything in the woods with the existing brook is handled by the bigger culvert.
The bigger culvert is actually carries the stream.
Okay. Which is,
What I did is I can actually, get somebody, I've got videos of when it was raining, the hard times, a couple times back where the water actually comes from, where it goes. I can send that to you so you can actually see visualize what it's doing. Because that's what I did, something just told me to record it. That's a lot of water. Between the sugar house driveway and the garage.
The only thing I can say, Rose, is coming off your property, and going back on your property, was always wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm not talking about the other way.
Water and land is an insidious thing, it's gonna go where darn well wants to go. If you change it there, if you throw enough money at it.
It looks like that, it just-
I just don't want loss of use. And that's what's happening.
It's always been like that, Rosie. No new law, loss of good, use. I cannot put a new culvert in a road without asking permission. But I can replace old culverts and I can, because they've been there since.
But
before me.
yeah, once you upsize one, it's already 30 inches without a lot of stuff. So,
Maybe you guys can come and look at it again sometime. It's not a 30-inch.
Down by Deb's, down by Deb's, isn't it?
No, what I'm talking about.
Okay, but if we put all that water down to Deb's, you're gonna have problems with it,
that all the way down is 30 inch, that's the one he's talking about.
the biggest one,
I'm talking the brook crossing here,
yes.
like, talking here.
It's a brook.
Yeah.
It's not like it's somebody's,
But you're just wondering how much water is coming off your field and going into your field. If I put all that water down to that 30-inch culvert, plus all the water down to the sugar house, and everybody else's land down through there, you're gonna be stressing out that culvert, because it goes out.
Natural from the return.
Right towards the backside of the tractor. Yeah.
If all that water is bothering your field, imagine what it's gonna do. You're not gonna culvert.
It's just,
Wasn't that the pond you complained about filling?
Excuse me?
Was the pond up there across the road, was that the one you complaining was filling into?
Down towards the end of the road,
Down toward the end?
barn down the hill.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll fill in the gravel.
Okay. Yeah,
Let's see what it looks like after Matt gets through his work this coming week, or this week, you said, Matt? Or next week? Whatever.
Provided the crew is still there.
and go to the road.
Like I said, now just look at Facebook and that's my road report. I'm not sure I need something.
And Matt, please realize I'm not coming here to attack you or anything like that. I wanted to talk to you about that culvert that I showed Lance, Brenda, and Josh. And the other side.
The way I'm listening though, you missed the culvert that goes into the general place when you showed it to them. Made it sound like an easy fix to go across the driveway, upside the one in the camp and you down to the 30.
I didn't say it was an easy fix. I said I would like to work with you guys to be able to fix it somehow so that I can get the pay off my fields.
If we have to upsize that 30-inch culvert and do a hydraulic study, these culverts we've been putting in, some down here is $100,000 for that box culvert. And there's no more water running through that pipe than there is this pipe.
That's true. It's $115,000.
The one on the water bill was $55,000. When the state does a study and tells you what to put in there,
You have no choice at that matter. At that time, it's just,
so when you take 35 bale of hay or whatever you use in times.
Okay, then the town can pay me $65 for 30 days.
Prove that you're getting that hay out there, Rosie. I haven't seen hay this year.
We'll see what it looks like after the ditch line.
Plus the water is always gone.
We haven't added any new culverts there, right? Just replaced existing culverts, so.
And raise the road
But
5 days.
she said.
That water, where we raise the road, does not go to that culvert, it goes the other way.
No, it goes in my field on the other side of the house.
Again, that culvert had always been there.
It used to go down the road.
No, that's because the cows plugged the culvert solid and it was useless. When that cows get near a thing like that, they punch it up, the mud runs.
Okay, Mac, you also, we're not gonna get an argument, but you also said to me that the reason why Joel Road was trashed, your word, because of my cows. I haven't had a cow in that road since
I
July.
never said that. The road, the reason that road was trashed is. because
Actually, they didn't even go out there this year.
All right, so that's the here or there.
They're not-
Hey, both it.
I didn't have any cows.
So, hey,
everywhere.
guys, if you want to argue about it, basically what we've said is we're gonna ditch it. We'll see what that does. And it sounds like you've already got somebody looking into doing a study on it. The town is gonna, we've got to do what we need to do for the roads to be in the best shape they can. By raising the road. I don't see how that would. Either way, we're gonna ditch it and we'll see how it goes after that and we'll go from there.
The year before we raised it, there was a big mud hole there and we raised it mud hole.
Let's do that work and we'll see from there, and we can look at it and go with.
Good idea.
Anything else on the roads?
Thank you for listening.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
I'll be leaving it.
All of you. Now, watch out for this in the spring. I'm
All right.
gonna keep my phone off.
So-
Okay, bye-bye.
So next, there's no others on the road. We have, very good. We have a building use permit for the Bakersfield Republican caucus. We approved the independent caucus of the 3 meetings ago. Okay, in all fairness, I make a motion that I accept the Republican caucus use permit for September, September 18th, 4:30 to 5:30.
Where is it? It's over here.
Yeah, that's their building use permit. So motion made by Josh, seconded by Brenda. All those in favor? Aye. There you go. Okay. I'm going to sign this as the authorized individual. You want to sign this? Sorry. There's that one. Oh. Very good, this one. Not this one, no. I'm just making sure. I knew what it was, I was just trying to figure out. So here we have an applicant for the zoning administrator position. I'm going to assume that you're stepping out of this communication. Yeah. Okay.
I make a motion that we accept this applicant's application.
What did we find out about being on the board and
No problem with that.
we found that out for sure?
It's in the.
I'm on the board.
You can't do that, but policy.
Well, Right, and that's where the conflict would be at.
Incompatible offices. First thing I've ever looked onto this site and found it.
The legal city, I called them twice and they have not called me back.
Okay.
You have to leave a message
Select
for them
person.
to call you.
Select person cannot be an auditor. It can be a select person. It cannot be the town manager. They cannot be the treasurer. It cannot be an elected official, or candidate of Australian ballot. And they cannot be a trust, they can be a trustee of the library. Let's see if we can find. I do not see zone on here. That's true, one of them. I'm more than happy to turn this over to somebody else to look at, so I am not doing all the interpretations myself. No way to cut it.
Kind of good luck.
The reason I wanted to ask them about it was because there's pay involved in this. And there's pay involved in being the select board. And you're already doing the duty, so it's like double dipping. Because you're already doing the duties of this position by being on the select board.
That'd be like saying you couldn't get paid for being the dog catcher.
Right.
If
The
you're on
the
select board.
duties of,
That's
what,
two-
yeah.
That's two different, no, it's not.
Well, this is two different.
No, it's not. You're still, that's what you are in the select board.
most of the duties of the
You are-
zoning board
I'm not
administrator
voting
lie
on it
outside
right
the
now,
two
but
meetings,
you guys can vote on it.
two meetings a month. So the duties of the zoning board administrator fall outside of the two meetings a month that are required of the select board. Oh, I wish I only did 2 meetings a month.
This is. This is. the
That's
chart.
what we're supposed to find out.
Well, and what I'm telling you is this is the one that they give you. This is the chart of incompatible.
Yes, you can vote on it. I'm good with you guys doing it. I'm just abstaining from it.
Motion stands.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So fast, 3-0.
Two abstain.
Three to zero.
3-0 to abstain.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless somebody else wants a position and you've advertised it. You don't have another application.
I thought they said we did, but maybe they never came.
So Glenda, we're going to, somebody
Who
goes
was
to
that?
camp
She
on
was-
the other now. You guys have to be long driveway.
I was thinking that I heard.
I've been up there already, at least 400 foot of frontage, I don't think you had it.
Well, no, it isn't long. It's a creed, it isn't long. I don't need to go over that. The whole lot of 5 acres of the.
Gary, sit back and don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about that stuff.
But I don't think it's a creed, it's law. I just need to run it.
All right, we're very good. There's another one.
Don't worry about the Mary Benton's law, okay?
No, that's fine.
Okay, then.
Don't try to steal it.
Everybody else is-
You don't know that it will.
Shade over.
Doesn't have survey.
I don't know.
So, Brandon, do you accept the position?
We'll talk about salary. In the event there is a conflict, when we find out where you cities and towns, we'll come talk to them. I will default
Good luck
back
getting
to.
hold of them,
I
because
talked
I've
to
had 3 questions for you, and they will not be back.
Question.
I have the same complaint. I haven't had good luck with the return.
I'm gonna throw out the question.
The other guy, that they gave you the name of, what was his name? Garrett? Was it Garrett? Brenda, who do you talk to down there?
Ted, Grady, he's the executive
I thought-
director.
Was it Garrett? Is there a Garrett there?
The separate lawyer. I've talked with Ted Grady, and most recently talked to people.
Was that Garrett? He called me right back every time I called.
No, Gary Baxter, before you start plowing.
I have not been able to get to him. It's always
I'm talking about-
I think it's like.
All right.
Then you have to work the way.
All right, so other,
They don't have anyone who's on the phone right now, I got to do that.
Or the extensions, which are,
So.
the extensions are in.
They cut it.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I just looked up the legal.
file this under G.
What's that?
What's that?
Do you have that, Garrett?
Here, Baxter, G Baxter, FELCT.org.
Yeah, what's his number? That's the one I wanted to talk about. So I said, here you go.
There, we're falling apart.
I know, I was trying to find that.
Not lucky, that was the
There you go. Okay, so next on the agenda,
You just gave it.
it's right there. Blue mail.
The outside audit.
You just did.
Okay,
What's
I
next,
know.
outside audit? No, I don't know.
Next would be
American
American Rescue
Rescue Plan.
ARPA, which we kind of got the update
No,
from.
we didn't.
Okay, we did.
What do we look at?
All right. Okay, we're the computer and it's just so much more. See how.
All right, from an ARPA update, we'll start with the big numbers. They give us another 129,000 approximately, which puts us at $198,486.88.
Say that again.
Yeah, I can give you those later, but it's 198,486.88. I think this will be the total amount that we have. My first report for that amount was due on the 31st of October. And I reviewed with the person who is running the ARPA information from the League of Cities and Towns. Her name is Kate Buckley. I reviewed my plan to roll this out to the town with a first informational meeting in November, second informational meeting in December, and the third and last one before town meeting. So that everybody has a clear understanding of what the money can and can't be used for. The informational meeting, the first one that we'll have, Kate will come and present information from the League of Cities and Towns. Jamie Morby from the Callis General Store, which is a cooperative store serving a much smaller population than Bakersfield, will come and talk to us, as well as maybe their admin associate. They're the person who runs the store. They also have a bar attached to it, which may or may not make a difference. They have, well, it's actually it's called the Whammy Bar, and they do have entertainment there on weekends. So it's kind of interesting
Are you saying this money would fund that co-op?
No, we're talking about producing a co-op model. I think I just jumped off something.
Oh.
You jumped off the ARPA bridge.
You jumped off it.
Let's go back.
Okay, no, I know.
ARPA money may or may not be involved with that.
I was following you real well there for a second. We ran a hard left there.
Okay, so in November, Kate Buckley's coming to the informational meeting,
Yeah,
and there's a.
Jamie Morby is coming as well.
Jamie Morby, okay.
For the ARPA funds.
Is that it?
We don't have the date yet, but we got the money. It's earning interest, and I have my first report due October 31st. And there's still more studying to do on this, but in the meantime, I'm not taking a paycheck yet.
So the November will be informational.
November and December will be informational, and then we'll do a wrap up just before town meeting.
So anything we incorporate with town meeting? Is that anything that we'd be voting on, we're gonna try to incorporate on our town meeting?
Yeah, we actually have to have that. From a transparency standpoint, what we're gonna do in the meetings is pretty much let people know what they can and can't do with that money. And look at what we can get for the bang for the buck. I figure we'll get a list of people's wish lists at the first meeting. At the second meeting, we'll go down through and maybe pick out the top of things we want to spend it on. And then we have to warn that, and that'll be the last meeting. We'll warn it appropriately for the town meeting. And then people will get to vote on it.
Would it be Australian ballot?
No,
It is, I think it would determine when we need to have that list finalized by.
Correct.
yeah, there's gonna be 30 days or 45 days.
We're right, we won't get it on the ballot at all.
Yep.
Printing purposes.
Yep.
Did you, were you able to research, could possibly be used to bring in?
I haven't drilled down on it that far yet. So it has to be a COVID related reason. So let's say the general store went out of business because they didn't have business.
Right.
And despite whether for the management what happened during that time period, and there may be funding available for that.
Okay.
So if Brigham had incurred a loss during COVID because of COVID, then it would be one of those things that may be in there. One of the things that we've been approached by companies that are popping up is to digitize all the town records because COVID kept people from coming in on a regular basis.
And, yeah, and if we don't go that route, we're gonna have to increase our storage for.
Right.
Well, you need the hard copy then.
digitalizing just makes them more accessible. You still need
Hard copies.
a hard copy.
So we still got to come up. with-
The other thing that would cause us to do is actually put in place some of the capital, that sort of thing, which is a revenue generating system, so people could use their credit cards, to be able to pay for stuff online, because we're getting records online. And, that would actually add revenue and drive revenue, quickly and more easily, and make more records accessible.
We don't even take credit card yet, so.
Well, there's costs
got
on
that.
that. It's not cheap to run a credit card.
No, I know, but
You lose money
can't
because
do
you have some
digitalizing
money.
records without some kind of.
Right.
Most farmers and farmers have figured out how to do that with a pretty simple device to scan credit cards. It's just a step to. do it.
Yeah, and just, I mean, there's like the surcharge of what we're being charged.
And they get charged, we charge.
Or
them.
you charge, we're not covered.
You have to. It's not cheap to run a charge card machine.
No, but it's,
2%.
it's where it's headed there.
It can be if you want it to be. Doesn't mean it has to be. We just got rid of ours because it costs so much.
Every month, how?
No, at the dairy center.
Oh,
So I was gonna say, gee, I keep making mine.
No.
All
So let's go with our,
Good with ARPA.
all right,
If you got questions,
outside,
send them to me.
inside audit, Gary. You said you reached out to Jason,
Jason.
but haven't got,
And I sent him a message today again.
okay,
He wanted some stuff left off, and so I left it off,
okay,
but he's not come back with any information back.
okay. Earlier I said something about maybe having Tammy send an email, just
Yeah,
maybe if it's coming from a couple
I left him a
different
text
angles.
message today, but
Give me more for him.
I did not, I've been texting him because I was phone number.
Text him and ask him what
What's
his
the
email is.
company he works for?
Paish.
Hang on,
Oh, that.
for the outside audit.
What's his text number?
All
Uh,
of, Bobber Hills, Stelzner, Seagal, and Valley. Located in Montpelier. There's, going to be a number of governmental audits.
I can't turn the audio off during that exchange.
You did,
I cannot.
what exchange?
Oh, are you giving us someone's number?
Oh. You can,
no, I'm not giving her his number.
well, how am I gonna text him and contact him?
I'm trying to get you his email, but I can't get a text to through cell phone service. I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay. You're gonna text it to me? Do you have mine?
No, I'll call you here tomorrow. Are you gonna be here? No? Okay. I will use your phone number after. You give it to me.
Okay.
Phone numbers on the webpage anyway.
No, she wants Jason. Because I worked for it.
You good with that? That's about, our
Who's
the day
the
goes on.
worker again? Yeah.
AM Pike.
AM. And I think it's PIE.
I just tried Googling it, I couldn't spell it.
It's in St. Albans?
It's right on Congress Street. Congress Street. Congress. PEISCH. There it is.
Doesn't have an account there, email on there. That actually has somebody else. for the outside. And
You don't want to talk in the session.
so that was one we have to get, that's one we're supposed to probably jump on, because we need to get 3 quotes. Yeah. Before we can present it, and it needs to go on, to be voted on in September. So if you want to reach out to them and see if they would do a full, bid for a full audit and same with you, Lance. And if AM wants to do a bid for a full audit, and if anybody has any other names, the more bids, the better, I feel.
So I'm thinking about the internal audit. January.
Correct. And
Well, I
then
think it was from KBS.
ADS will be a good one too, yes.
I didn't know that we were, okay.
Well, I, was talking with Brenda down here, and much the same as she has to do with the ARPA funds, we need to get a minimum of 3 quotes. Have a discussion about which company we'd like to go through, and then put that into the budget for, the March meeting.
Right,
So I know it's only September, but that, from what I've seen the past couple of years, that seems to whirl around us pretty quick here. This tail end seems to whip.
so we need a minimum of 3.
Minimum of 3, Brenda has somebody she's gonna reach out to, Lance has somebody he's gonna reach out to, Barry's gonna reach out to KBS. And I think, well, you have Jason on the horn, if you could ask him if like, he's interested for the outside audit, correct?
That's what he was making a quote for, was outside audit.
Excellent. So you haven't talked to him about doing the January?
No, both.
Okay, good. So,
He was doing.
yes, if you want to just,
And what did you say? I don't know, Kathy got it out of that one, and he did, because he, yeah, I got it to him. I believe it's the report they did back in January,
Yeah.
2013, maybe?
Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
Right.
okay.
Oh, so you have that.
So yeah, I guess if we're both doing this, and maybe we'll see the everything.
Where's Ernest? Yeah.
You know, it's just never hurts to hope. Did we not do, I feel like we've done the road commission.
We kept postponing it, because
Okay.
there were enough people.
Okay, that's good to know. So, really good cities and towns actually has,
Let's see, where is it? I have a copy of it. Let me do it.
where did you have one from?
I did have. I'm trying to find it.
And also from Alan Albrecht. Is that part of that?
Yeah. That was something.
I'm saying then, when I had, I think mine was structured. How do you shut that binder? What binder? How do you shut it? So, don't shut it. You carry it around open. No, I carry it back.
So this one that I have here is from Comfort. It's got a brief summary and the responsibilities, 20 different responsibilities and requirements.
was pretty. No, you could call, have it done, can't do it from here.
Who's not proud?
We still got 110.
Is it your intention, Josh, is
Good.
job description after contract or adapted to?
I was just, there was one here that looked, maybe it had everything that it covered.
This is the one I had in. Okay.
And I'll have a copy of your contract. It looked like it had everything they're already doing. We're working with supervisor, road foreman, assistant road crew, including truck drivers, laborers, and equipment operators. Which is also responsible for road scheduling, coordinating, supervising work on the roads. Road commissioner is also responsible for various administrative duties that require to oversee the work of the department, including payroll records, budget oversights, work performed underneath the general guides to the select board, but requires the ability to work independently, following established procedures, routines, all positions are filled. Since it's public compact.
Sounds like the road program.
It's very similar, but just basically says that
In
This-
Fairfax, it's not.
this person would be supervising the road foreman.
Right, that's what Fairfax is used to. Road commissioner.
Which is real easy to do if they're the same person.
Right. And I figured that's probably what this town gave us.
Actually, you can't. If you read your foreman. Where's the foreman one that you just said?
On my computer somewhere. We put in there that you can't be the road commissioner.
Oh, no, wasn't Alan road commissioner and former same time?
Road commissioner doesn't go
Says the
to
foreman.
access from the, it applies to board.
Now, Brian Weston for a while.
Lots of some towns do one
Do we have
One.
one,
select board member,
So,
is your road commissioner. And the road foreman would answer to that
what
road
was it you-
commissioner.
What were you questioning? Sorry,
Is that
on the road foreman one, what were your question?
Doesn't it say in there that your road foreman answers to the road commissioner?
Yeah. That's what you said.
That'd be hard to be the same person. You're supposed to be. Yeah, the road foreman is to answer to the road commissioner,
Well,
and it's all the same person. I don't know where.
I think there was verbiage to take care of that, but I'm not 100% there. So
just barely did.
We've had this discussion before.
We didn't even have job descriptions before that until this year.
No, but we talked about, when we did the foreman's position, we talked about, what happens if they're the same person? How we change it.
Well, it's not like we're changing our road commissioner today, because they're until at least next month.
So what we have for supervision received under road foreman, Barry? Ready? I pulled it up, you want to see what we have written down?
Yes, I will.
Okay, it says work under the direct supervision of road commissioner of Bakersfield. In his or her absence, the select board while exercising independent judgment in the daily routine of the park. Which means if they were the same person, they would work under the direct supervision of us. That's what Mac does now, he comes to us. He makes the decisions for the daily operations. He comes to us with the experts.
Well, we vote on that, appoint that every year, though, right? It's not ongoing.
Right.
So at some point, it might not be the same.
Exactly, that's why we said in his or her absence. So if we don't have, or if the road commissioner is the road foreman, which in this case it is, they would make the decisions working directly under us.
But if there was somebody that ended up
If there was somebody,
not
that-
being
right, then,
as such, then
right, say you were the road,
fall under.
say you were the road commissioner. Mac would give you the reports, you would bring the reports to us. That's what's been done, how stuff's going, that type of stuff. So this is technically his road commissioner job portion.
You're gonna be on call when I'm
Right.
Did you just say you want to appoint Dave Oak as road commissioner?
Well,
Sorry, I had to.
Don't get all hairy about it. It's who we all work for.
Yeah, but there's a right way and a wrong way about going about stuff.
Work for, I have one, just those people on Facebook.
No, we work for the whole town.
Yeah, I know.
It's just,
And
believe
they
me,
are-
it's not much better than
It's
it's
all
all.
It's like, I would agree with
Right front and
my.
back.
Stay
They
with
tell
the
me
fire,
sometimes
Mac.
I don't
We have a
care.
problem. How come we got block, we got dirty water? Fire department could trade it back. Turn the water on.
I warned about one of them, they went off too late.
Yeah, BC, knocked that stuff down in
So
Shelby.
that's this one.
But their customers got notified, ours didn't.
Yeah.
So what we're
Because
applying
you're
is-
BC.
that should be-
I was 5 minutes.
We're
5
GMP.
minutes.
They didn't tell us.
Number 5 minutes down.
You didn't get
I
notified?
didn't get a phone call.
You should have got it, yeah.
Said be off like 1
My
o'clock.
daughter
like
got
5
notified
minutes.
Both daughters actually now.
Oh. Really working.
That's the job
What is the
description,
one that I had
just as an example.
What do you want?
from Fletcher?
Oh. This is the one I just down. Pulled right off the
No, I know.
League of Cities.
This one's different,
It's just a place to start.
right?
I just read through to see if there was anything here that you were like, hell no, don't do that. Oh, I like that. Supervise and assist in the placement and removal of street signs and decorations as required.
Well,
If we're gonna do that, we gotta have CDL, bring up that kind of stuff.
That's this one, number 20. As needed, may possess a valid Class A CDL. I don't think Class A, do you require Class A?
no, that's the.
Oh, no.
Tractor
Yeah, I
trailer.
got the cheap one, I don't have that.
I don't think this does. Because our commission, road commissioner may not be a working road commissioner.
Correct. I was looking at more of the bullet points.
No, I know, I'm just saying,
The
right,
description
right
of
off
the
the
edit, yeah.
bat, this here does not fit us.
But you can modify it and make whatever you want.
Right.
Right. It's just a place to start.
You just cross out one track for Bakersfield.
Turn to them. Going right from the beginning to
That's
the
like,
end.
that's one of
Josh.
those, I know, this was just this was one I saw right off quick and I just pressed through. You know, the thing.
You guys drag the darn feet, and that's why it's taken 20 years to get a damn job description.
Well, I've only done a lot of 37, so I wasn't even old enough to vote 20 years ago, so that's
We
not my
did
fault.
need one.
Not
Yeah,
even that was
every
you,
time we kept
20 years
asking a question, you kept saying it wasn't your job description.
That's because of the new rules that came down since you've been on the board.
Oh,
You're not much better than you are, though, Matt.
Don't believe me, just check Facebook.
That's right.
Always get mad, don't get mad.
Look at that camera.
Should we turn it a
Two
little bit?
cameras.
Two cameras, yeah.
Whatever. Getting colonoscopy next Monday, I think I got one tonight.
here,
Oh, shit, I got my system.
I have to, no.
It only hurts when you look over and see that cord that's going down the camera. You say, oh my.
We are on file here, guys.
Okay, it's public, you
You
know.
know what upset me next when I looked over and I saw Router beside the machine?
Doctor called me and said, I don't know what I'm telling you this for, you've done it, I think you probably just do this yourself. I said, well, yeah, I probably wouldn't be too comfortable with it.
Mary woke up and that was going out of there, would be better.
Really?
Ben, are you reading that? Read it. I know he's one.
I read it. About what we do now for a foreman.
That's class A. You didn't have a, you are the road commissioner. I did get.
No, I'm the public works director.
Right, but
Yeah,
that's
basically.
part of your umbrella.
Right.
He does not do anything.
Right.
Full-fledged.
Took me 30 years to find that job, so you, but
Yeah, exactly.
I do all the budgeting.
And you did quite a bit in the meantime, those 30 years, didn't you?
Yeah.
I just asked somebody something about it, and they said, you're that home. You don't work for the town administrator, does you?
No, I'm billing.
What are your comments on that?
Whatever. I'm like number 20, I got a CDL.
It's pretty much what we do now, most of the stuff.
No, because that,
Well,
this is like an active working road commissioner.
You gonna pay it?
You are now, but that might not be 5 years from now, we might not have one
What I'm
that is.
saying is you're gonna pay somebody to do that job? How much
Do
you gonna
what
pay?
job?
The road commissioner job, you said it's an active working job.
no.
It
Say
is, in this
description
job
is
description,
official.
it is.
Right. Can you?
So you'd have to pay somebody if you're gonna give them these kind of responsibilities.
You're gonna give responsibility, you might as well give them to them. Right? I don't mind getting called at 3 o'clock in the morning, that poor bastard's gonna wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every time it snows and call me for $100 a week, good luck.
No, this is saying that he's gonna go out and work with you
This one.
That's fine.
with this description here.
What he's saying is, right now, right, the way the work commission now, get $100 a week.
Yes, October first,
Right.
no, April
So
first,
he's getting up in the winter time 3-4 times for $100.
yeah. But that's, this job description does not fit our model, is
No,
what I'm saying.
you're right, you're right. This is basically When's our foreman?
I'm gonna table this for another night, so we all can look at it better.
I'll second that.
I say yes.
We got some blur vision.
It's just, this does not fit us at all.
And I didn't say that it did,
No,
I
no,
just
I
said
know.
this is one I found on here,
Right,
let's look at it, but.
I would rather take this and modify the road foreman position you have using this. Because I think this more fits.
Well, I think we've already got the
Our
road
road-
position
I'm gonna
done.
look at it.
You should have looked at it when you voted on it.
I did, but I didn't have this compare it.
That's not road foreman, that's road commissioner.
Not these are road foreman jobs
That's on Concord, that's not the village.
in our town. These are road foreman
Everything,
responsibilities.
Yeah,
everything
In
is
our-
adopted
in our
from the
town.
village meeting.
I know.
Okay, so
They
this-
can't have a road commissioner.
No.
Gary didn't bring anything to us.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Well,
No, no, no,
I vote against adopting Gary.
Did you second Gary's vote?
I don't know.
I didn't know if you guys had a road
Gary, did you
commissioner.
second yours?
Some, I know Fairfield.
I did.
Lancer.
I know Fairfield, I think it is
Yeah.
actually a select.
All those in
board.
favor of tabling this, because we needed a motion to table it?
Rough.
Dan?
Yes.
Say aye.
Aye.
There you go.
I,
All right,
It's like the village.
future agenda.
Okay.
road commissioner's job description.
I think we bring that to the top. Can we put that in the roads?
Yep.
That way you have input.
Right.
Think of stuff that you do that you
You
would
want
be
to
like,
the road?
well, yeah. And I think if you think of jobs that you're like, okay, in this next week, think of jobs that you're like, okay, this is my job because I work here. And then you're like, jobs that I have to do because I have that commissioner position, which would be most of your PR. That's what I see as the road commissioner, as more of a public relations person.
I still work here.
In the village.
I'm not firing you.
No, I'll send you the plan.
This is kind of like us, where it's just,
Our road foreman.
it's not a,
I don't.
Right,
We have a motion to adjourn.
and that's what I'm saying.
You get paid an hour a day.
I like that.
7 hours a week.
So government describes what it is.
right.
We have a motion to adjourn.
On call from Mark.
I'll second that.
Wait,
I second my,
okay,
Brenda made the motion to adjourn.
okay, who did?
Brenda,
Brenda.
seconded by Lance.
Thirded by me.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That'll work.
Okay, did you say aye or are you opposing?
I said aye.
Okay.
That works if it's,
I said I am.
so that